Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be going over an amazing dish that will help you stay balanced and to lose weight. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome to Grace Yoga Channel. I'm Grace, an Ayurvedic life coach, and today we're making Kitchari. I am not a doctor. If you have any concerns before starting any Ayurvedic practices, please consult your medical professional. We're going to be doing a 6-day mono diet together as a group. Join us. I'd love to have you there. We have all the instructions on how to do it. So there's a PDF that you can download. And when you click on it, it looks like that. Sorry, it's there. So you'll go get that PDF. It's got the instructions for how to do the recipe. It's got the ingredients of what we're going to make today. And then it's got instructions for every day. So it's like everything for this 6-day Kitchari Mono Diet Challenge for anyone who wants to join. One thing you'll have to do in advance is soak your dal. This is moong dal, and you'll see it called split yellow mung beans or yellow mung beans, and that's what I have here. It doesn't have the husk around the bean. This is the preferred type of bean, mung bean, to use if you're doing a cleanse because it's much gentler on your digestive system. Now, if you're using the yellow mung beans, then you soak them for a minimum of 30 minutes. This was half a cup, y'all. This was half a cup. They swelled up. And so, yeah, you want to soak them because they get tender. You can soak them for a minimum of 30 minutes or longer if you want. The longer you soak them, the more tender they become. If you soak them overnight, they might feel too mushy to you. So it just depends on your texture and what you prefer. There are green mung beans. The green ones, they're the same as this. It's just they're whole. They're not split, they're whole, and they have the husk around them. If you're using the green mung beans, they take longer to soak. Those can be soaked overnight. They won't get as mushy as the yellow mung beans. So I'm going to be using, this is all the bone broth that I have. The recipe calls for 2 cups. I don't have 2 cups. So I have about 1 1/4 or 1 1/3 cup of bone broth. And I just want to show you guys, do y'all see the texture of this? How it's like jelly. It's kind of like jelly. It jellifies when it goes in the fridge. And that's because it's got a lot of collagen in it. And collagen is amazing for our skin, not only for our skin on the outside, but also for the intestines, the lining of the intestines on the inside as well. And so I will just pour that right in. And then I'm going to add another 2 2/3 cups of water. And I'm going to get that going. So if you are a vegan and do not want to use bone broth, you don't have to use bone broth. You can use just water. That's a good point, Sarah. You can use vegetable broth too. Then I'm going to take a cup of rice. This is basmati rice. This is basmati rice. You can use jasmine rice. You can really use any type of rice for this recipe. If you have brown rice, the instructions are going to be completely different. I'm gonna put the rice in my little colander. I'm gonna pour in my yellow mung beans. So I've got them rinsed over and I'm waiting for this to come to a boil. So I'll set that to the side and wait for this to come to a boil. And I'm gonna grab my veggies, and I have some exciting, I started gardening last year. This recipe calls for beet greens. So I just went out to my garden and picked these beet greens. Yay! So we're using beet greens, we're using a zucchini, and some sugar snap peas. I'm gonna chop my veggies. Zucchini is a pretty quick cooking vegetable, so I'm gonna add this in toward the end. These can be substituted for if you have yellow squash or any type of summer squash. So zucchini is a summer squash. I can put this in here. So I'm adding my rice and my beans, and now I'm going to add my Kitchari spice mix. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in a tablespoon. I've got a teaspoon in here right now, so 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to stir it in. Let that come to a boil, and then I'll add these slower cooking vegetables. All right, this is starting to come to a boil. And then I'm gonna chop the things here that are slower cooking. Sugar snap peas are slower cooking. You can cook, meaning you can cook them longer and they still maintain some texture and they don't get all mushy. All right, so I'm just gonna add the sugar snap peas. Also, I want to give a shout out to my mom and to my grandma who helped me to learn how to cook. They taught me so many things. So what I'm doing with these is I'm cutting the stems from my beet greens. The reason that I'm doing that is because the green leafy part is very quick cooking. So quick cooking that once it hits the heat, it's just gonna wilt. So I'm gonna set these greens to the side for a moment. I'll come back to them. These are beet stems. So the greens of the beet, it's the stem part, which looks an awful lot like celery. So if you don't have the stems of beet greens, then you can use something like celery or Swiss chard, or you can even use bok choy if that's available to you. They're kind of similar in texture. I'm gonna turn this down to a medium high heat so that it's simmering now. And I'm gonna grab a lid and I'm going to cover it just kind of like so that the lid is off kilter a little bit, just sitting off of the pot. Let me turn this down a little bit more, starting to get a little bit too much. Bring the greens back in and I'm just gonna gently, not gently, I'm gonna chop them. Make sure that's ready. Let's take a look at it, how it looks right now. Can you see how the rice is puffed up a bit? What? So you see the red beet stems, the green sugar snap peas, and I'm now going to put in the zucchinis, wherever I put those, right here. You still want to have enough water in there so that it's basically steaming your zucchinis. Okay. Let's check on this. Oh yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna stir in the veggies. There's pretty much no more water in the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the greens on top to steam them with whatever's left. You can always add more water if you need. And make sure that we're good. Yep, we're good. We're good. This looks great. Okay, so I'm gonna share what this looks like, but just so you guys see, it's got my kitchari in there. And you can see why I put the greens at the very last, because I don't want them to get too cooked. And this is the same concept of cooking salads in Ayurveda. People think, cook your salads, ugh. But it just turns into like this right here. It just barely cooks your leafy greens and it's just really, really good. And it's really healthy and easy on the digestive system. The raw foods, while they are seen as being a really healthy thing, they can be very harsh on the digestive system, particularly for those of us who are Vata dosha. This is my ghee that I made. And so I'm gonna drizzle a little bit on top. So I'm going to try this and let you know how it is. Oh, black pepper. I wanna put black pepper because black pepper activates the turmeric. Mm. Oh man, it's so good. This is the best. Do this. I'm gonna grab my spice box. I'm gonna temper a little bit of spices in this pan with some ghee. So I'm gonna add ghee. It's immediately melting. I don't know if you can see, maybe not. You don't want ghee to ever smoke. Ghee has a very high smoke point. And so if it starts smoking, that's just way too hot. If you see ghee start to smoke, or any oil for that matter, Just let it cool down, get rid of it, because it has already changed the chemical properties of the oil. So I'm going to put it on a medium to medium low heat. I'm going to add in a few fennel seeds, a few cumin seeds, and a few mustard seeds. I'm just going to do a little bit of that. Oh, and I want to do ginger. Let me show you my ginger grating tool. So this is what I use to grate my ginger. You can peel the ginger with a spoon if you want. This is already washed. I'm going to keep the skin on there. And then I'm just going to grate. I love this thing. And there's no markings on it or anything, but it looks like it's probably about 6 inches across. And then the middle part is a 4-inch grating plate, and it has little pokey things here. You can grate ginger, you can grate garlic on this, and it really draws the juice out of that when you do. Really handy tool to have. And I'm going to add the ginger. Can you hear? I'm just tempering the spices in the ghee. And so that's it. That's all I do. And then I'm going to add a little bit on top of here and see how that changes the flavor. It doesn't take long. As soon as those mustard seeds start popping, it's already telling you it's ready. So I added just a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but it's right there. Oh my gosh. That is the best thing ever. It gives you a little pop, a little change to your kitchari, and you're eating it and you're like, it's really bland, or I don't really enjoy it. Those are a few things that you can do that will help spice up your kitchari mono diet. And that stuff is really good for you. Thank you so much for joining us today on this demonstration of making kitchari. I hope that you are able to make your own kitchari. And if you do, share with us how it goes. Also, if you're starting the 6-day mono diet, be sure to get your PDF. Let us know. We want to know. Let's stay in contact these 6 days, and let's have fun cleansing and losing weight. Thank you so much for joining us today for this demonstration on how to make kitchari. We went over the whole shebang. So we have more videos coming up, and if you're interested in joining us on our cleanse journey, please like, comment, and subscribe so you get notified of our next videos coming up. Thank you and happy cleansing. It's so good. The aromas. Ooh.